2 years ago, a guy comes into my shop. I'll call him Dave. Dave had just put 85,000 miles on a 2019 Civic hatchback, and not a single unplanned repair. Not one. He's selling it to his college-age daughter, buying himself a new one. Same color, same trim. He didn't even shop around. That's a customer who made a decision based on experience, not advertising. A week later, another guy walks in with a 2019 Corolla. Same year, similar mileage. Beautiful shape, well maintained. He wanted a quote on the CVT because it was slipping. We talked through it, point being, two similar cars, two very different conversations about what comes next. Welcome back to Honda Decoded. I'm Mike, 25 years turning wrenches, over the last 15 focused heavily on Honda and Acura. And today I'm going to give you the most honest breakdown you'll find anywhere on how the 2025 Civic and 2025 Corolla actually compare. Not as numbers on a spec sheet, as cars that real people drive, maintain, and sometimes regret buying. Stay with me through the end because the section on long-term ownership costs is where most comparison reviews leave money on the table. And I'm not going to do that to you.
Number 1. The price gap and why it's not the whole story.
The 2025 Corolla starts at around $21,900. The base 2025 Civic comes in at around $23,950. So yes, Opa, the Corolla is cheaper by roughly $2,000 out the gate. If that's where the story ended, this would be a short script, but here's what I've seen from the service side. The Civic Sport trim, which adds Honda sensing, a larger infotainment screen, and a genuinely better interior, runs about $26,000. The equivalent Corolla SE is around $24,500. You're still looking at a gap, but it's closing. Opina. And the things Honda spent that money on, the fit and finish, the materials, the feel of the controls, those things don't show up in a comparison chart. I've had customers tell me they felt like they were sitting in a rental car in the Corolla. Oh, I've never heard that about the Civic. That's not a knock on Toyota. The Corolla is a well-built machine, but the Civic genuinely punches above its price class in terms of interior experience. If you're spending 30+ hours a week in a car, $1,000 spread over 5 years of ownership is 67 cents a day. Factor that in before you let the sticker price make the decision for you. If you want honest mechanic breakdowns, not dealer spin, subscribe to Honda Decoded. New scripts drop every week.
Number 2. The engines. What the numbers actually mean in traffic.
Base Civic runs a 2.0-liter 4-cylinder making 150 horsepower and 133 pound-feet of torque, paired with a CVT. The base Corolla runs the same displacement, 2.0 liters, but makes 169 horsepower. On paper, Toyota wins. In traffic, at the speeds most people actually drive, we're not going to feel that 19 horsepower difference on your morning commute. Where Honda pulls ahead is in the hybrid. The 2025 Civic Hybrid makes 200 horsepower and 232 pound-feet of torque, or 0 to 60 in 6.2 seconds. I've test-driven it. It feels fast. Genuinely quick, not quick for a compact. The Corolla Hybrid, meanwhile, makes 138 horsepower and does 0 to 60 in around 9 to 10 seconds. That gap is enormous. Toyota built its hybrid for maximum efficiency. Honda built theirs for efficiency and performance. Different philosophies, and it shows. From a maintenance standpoint, 2.0 naturally aspirated Civic has been one of the cleanest engines I've worked on. No oil dilution issues like the early 1.5-liter turbo had, and yes, those L15 engines from 2016 to 2019 had documented problems with gasoline getting into the crankcase oil in cold climate short trip driving. Honda addressed it in later calibrations. But if you're shopping used, check the oil on any pre-2020 turbo Civic. Pull the dipstick. If it smells like gas, walk away. If the engine breakdown saved you from a mistake on a used car, hit subscribe. There's a lot more where that came from. Point 3.
Number 3. Fuel economy. The numbers and the reality.
Base Civic gets 31 city and 40 highway. Base Corolla gets 32 city and 40 highway, essentially identical. If you drive mostly city miles, the Corolla saves you 1 mpg. Over 15,000 miles a year at $4 a gallon, that's about $30 in annual savings. Not nothing, but not a reason to choose one car over the other. The hybrid numbers are where it gets interesting. Civic Hybrid, 50 city, 47 highway. Corolla Hybrid, 53 city, 46 highway. Toyota's hybrid is more efficient in the city. Honda's is better on the highway. Honda's is better on the highway. If you mostly drive interstates, the Civic Hybrid is your car. If you're stuck in urban stop and go, the Corolla Hybrid has the edge. Neither one is dramatically better. We're talking about 2 to 3 mpg across most real-world scenarios. What I tell my customers is this: don't make a $10,000 vehicle decision based on a 2 mpg swing. Look at the total cost of the hybrid premium over the base, estimate your actual annual mileage and gas prices, and calculate your break-even point. On a Civic Hybrid, we're usually looking at around 4 to 5 years of driving to recoup the extra cost over the base Civic in fuel savings alone. If you keep cars that long, and most of my customers do, it pencils out. If you trade every 3 years on the base model.
Number 4. The CVT. What to know before you buy used.
The Civic and Corolla use continuously variable transmissions on most trims. The CVT has become an easy punching bag on the internet, and some of that reputation is earned. But context matters a lot here. Honda's CVT in the current generation Civic has been significantly refined since the early days of the K-Series CVT pairing. I'm not seeing the kind of premature wear I'd occasionally flag in Civics from 2016 through 2018. The critical thing, and I cannot stress this enough, is fluid. Honda CVT fluid is not a lifetime fluid. Honda's own documentation says to inspect it at 60,000 miles and change it in severe duty conditions. My shop's position is simpler. Change it at 45,000 miles, no exceptions. Fluid flush runs about $150 to $170 at an independent shop. Dealers will quote you $220 to $250 for the same job. Either way, Decoded is the single cheapest insurance policy you can buy for a CVT-equipped Civic. On the Corolla side, I've seen CVT issues surface more consistently in the first-generation units, particularly in the 2014 to 2018 range under hard use. The newer units are better, but the same fluid change advice applies. If you're buying a used Corolla with over 60,000 miles and no record of a CVT fluid change, budget for it immediately. If the previous owner can't tell you when it was done, assume it wasn't. CVT maintenance just saved you a potential $2,000 repair bill. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next.
Number 5. Reliability, the shop floor reality.
Here's the honest version, and I'm going to be direct. Both of these cars are exceptional by any reasonable standard. If you maintain either one properly, oil changes on schedule, fluid services when due, tires rotated, you can expect to drive either car past 200,000 miles without major drama. I've seen it with my own eyes on both sides. That said, the Corolla has a slight edge in long-term dependability data, and JD Power's most recent vehicle dependability study reflects that. It's not a massive gap, but the Corolla has been doing the same thing reliably for longer, and Toyota has had more time to smooth out the rough edges. The Civic Hybrid powertrain is newer technology, and while Honda's track record with hybrid systems is strong, the Accord Hybrid has been rock solid. There's simply less long-term data on the 11th generation Civic Hybrid than there is on a Corolla with 150,000 miles on the clock. If reliability is your absolute priority and you lose sleep over repair bills, the Corolla gives you slightly more peace of mind, statistically. If you want the better driving experience, more power, and a cabin you actually enjoy being in, the Civic earns its place. Neither choice is wrong. 6.
Number 6. Interior, space, and the daily reality.
I don't spend a lot of time talking about interiors. I'm usually more interested in what's under the hood, but this is a real differentiator here. I'm going to give it its due. The Civic's interior is genuinely well executed. The materials are soft where your hands land. The layout is clean and logical. The 9-inch touchscreen on sport trim and above is one of the better implementations of an infotainment system I've seen in this price class, and I say that as someone who mostly ignores touchscreens and prefers a physical knob for volume. Trunk space. The Civic gives you 14.8 cubic feet. The Corolla gives you 13.1. That's not trivial if you're doing Costco runs or carrying gear for a camping weekend. On rear seat legroom, the Civic also has a slight advantage. If you regularly carry adults in the back, that matters. If it's mostly just you and one other person, it probably doesn't. The Corolla's interior is fine. It's honest, durable, practical. But if you put a Civic and a Corolla side by side at the same trim level and let someone who knows nothing about either brand sit in both for 10 minutes, The Civic wins that exercise nearly every time. I've run that experiment with customers in my parking lot. It's not scientific, but the reactions have been consistent, honest disclosure. Everything I've shared here is based on patterns I've seen across 15 years of working primarily on Honda and Acura vehicles. Conversations with colleagues who work on Toyotas, published reliability data, and manufacturer documentation is not a guarantee of what will happen with any specific car. Every vehicle has a history. A well-maintained Corolla with service records is a better buy than a neglected Civic with mystery mileage every single time. Before you put money down on either car, new or used, get it inspected by an independent mechanic who has no financial stake in the sale, not the dealer's service department. An independent shop. Budget $75 to $150 for a pre-purchase inspection. It is the best money you will spend in the entire transaction. So where does that leave you? If you want the better driving experience, the better interior, want a hybrid system that's actually fast, the Civic is your car. If you want the lowest entry price, the long-term reliability crowned by a thin margin, and AWD availability, the Corolla earns its reputation. My personal pick, as a Honda mechanic with 25 years in the trade, is the Civic Hybrid Sport. 200 horsepower, 50 miles per gallon in city driving, an interior I actually enjoy being in, and Honda's reliability track record behind it. That's a hard package to argue with at that price point. Drop your situation in the comments. Tell me which one you're considering, what your mileage looks like per year, and whether you're buying new or used. I read every comment and I'll tell you straight what I'd do in your position if this gave you something real to work with. Subscribe to Honda Decoded. No fluff, no hype, just shop floor straight talk. I'm Mike. Drive it right, maintain it well. See you next time.